Oh. To store or not to store? Hi, welcome to our episode of To Store or Not to Store.
That is the question. Can we replace it cheaper than we can keep it?
I'm a visual person, and Roscoe's the number cruncher. I needed a visual. If I have a storage unit, how many of these boxes or the piano, how much is that really going to cost me?
I went out and looked at some storage units in our local area. $210 a month for the storage unit. There was a move-in fee, like a lease sign-up fee, and some places waived that. Some people gave you a better deal for a couple months. When I looked at it as an annual, I was like, oh, now that $2,500 can go to another trip to England or Europe or someplace that we're actually going to go and enjoy this opportunity that we might not have again. And so that's why we're really striving right now to cut back on some.
Does it have to be a year lease?
They do have month-to-month or 6-month rates on opportunities. It's a 10 by 20, 8 feet tall. How do you make all your stuff fit?
Yeah.
Got a couple boxes for Michelle to think about. This is a 12 by 12 box. It costs about 13 cents a month to store. So not really that expensive.
No, but I look at that box, I'm like, what am I going to put in it? I really don't have a whole lot that will fit in that box.
Except maybe some books, because then I can carry it. No,
That's true. That it won't be so heavy.
But the reality is it's $1.58 a year to store it.
What about the tote?
The tote is 53 cents a month. The misnomer on that is we can't quite go to the ceiling. It's going to be a tad short of that.
So we figured we could stack about 5.
Annually, that's $6.40 just for that tote.
What about the piano?
It's roughly $73 a year to store your piano once it's in the storage unit. A couple things to think about. How do you get it there? Is there any temperature, climate control you need to keep track of? Is there theft potential?
Yeah.
If it flooded and damaged it and you had to go claim it, what's replacement value, right? The insurance company's not going to give you full value of what I originally paid for that pillow, nor my couch.
Yeah.
Maybe on the piano, probably not.
When you do decide what you want to store, make sure you keep a complete record for those purposes. If anything was to happen, you have a complete record of what is in all of your boxes. Maybe even go to the extreme of numbering your boxes.
We only know that from a claim we helped the father with.
Yes. And it still didn't work out very well.
The reality is insurance probably is not going to give you what you perceive it's worth anyways. Michelle and I have spent time talking. There's some things we won't get rid of. I talked about baby books. You're like, whoa.
Can't get rid of the baby books.
We're going to store some stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then there's going to be an emotional attachment to some things that we can't really replace.
Right.
That's the emotional side. But from a financial side.
What is that dollar amount that you have that you're like, I'm comfortable with spending that?
As you're thinking through the storage unit and the storage cost of it, we have a blog. You'll be able to see the numbers in there. Email me if you have any questions. I geek out on this stuff all day. Happy to walk through some simple scenarios and answer some questions as far as what's the financial holding cost of keeping stuff.
And really the number crunching is just so you have it for a budget. This episode isn't for the emotional side of it at all, because that changes things. Sometimes it doesn't matter what it's going to cost, you're going to keep it. And sometimes you're like, no. Reach out and comment and tell us what you think. Give us your feedback and some insights of what you've done. That would be fun to hear.
Yeah, because we're about down to 2 months where we have to really decide where to put all this stuff.
Yeah. 5 months from now is when we're supposed to be hitting the road.
Is it that long?